last night. I was at the studio. I was recording a studio session, which has been pretty cool because that's my second time being in the studio, a music recording studio. And being in that environment has been a really cool experience because music has always been a huge part of my life, and film and music kind of go hand in hand. So I was there helping out Fabio make some music and just kind of get some behind the scenes footage of the session. So that was pretty cool to experience, and to kind of see what that recording process looks like for an artist. I really enjoyed that. It was a cool experience to be there and just be in a creative space where that creative energy isn't lost, because as of late life has just felt like the creative energy is constantly trying to leave me, I guess is the best way that I can put it. There's constant battles every day with myself, trying to be the best that I can, trying to be the best father that I can, trying to be the best partner that I can, trying to be the best brother that I can. Like, just all these different battles within myself of trying to be there for everybody who I care about. Knowing that sometimes I fall short of that makes it harder to kind of keep going and to kind of stay within that creative element. So being able to go into a space that it was kind of rejuvenating. It honestly really inspired me because they're making music, and I think it's kind of inspired some of this video, just being able to talk about whatever and being raw about life, because there's these perceptions that we always try to put out. Being able to go into a space where ideas just flow, it's kind of inspired me to just take that approach into the work that I'm doing and giving you guys perspective on where it is that I am in life, because sometimes so much of what my life feels like is online. You know, I've met most of y'all, I know most of y'all, and I don't know if I mean as much to y'all as y'all mean to me. You know, I probably think about y'all more than one would think or care to admit, I guess. Not in a bad way. Me creating and sharing and having been a photographer and a filmmaker for however many years, it's allowed me to share part of my life with y'all. And I think that's a blessing, because when I'm not connected to the world, when I'm not connected to the internet, which, you know, I took a break from, I literally uninstalled social media because so much of social media for me was, I call it an insufferable void. It was just constantly reminding me of what I don't have or what I need to do, or it was this constant overload of information that I was just overwhelmed with the bombardment of information, and I would retain too much information, and it kind of redirected my focus from creating into, I should, you know, maybe do this type of content or do this, or this person or this artist is doing that, and maybe I should do that. And so I was in this constant loop of like, should I do that? Should I do what I've been seeing? My screen time was way too high. Like, I grew up with technology. Once I got a phone, it was always just an extension of me. And so when all these older generations would kind of talk about how all these younger kids are always addicted to their phones, or they're always on their phones, and our rebuttal was always like, well, y'all just don't understand what it means to be connected, and what it means to have virtual friends, and what it means to have, you know, these virtual spaces and this virtual culture that exists and that allows us to, it's allowed me to create, and it's allowed me to be a filmmaker, and it's allowed me to connect and meet wonderful and beautiful people. But it's also been taking up too much of my mental headspace. At one point, I didn't think it was healthy. I didn't feel satisfied. I didn't feel content. I didn't feel like I was in a good, healthy space within the content and the media that I was consuming. It was too much. And I put social media down. I uninstalled all social media, and for about 2 months I was free of it. My screen time went down exponentially. It was a fresh breath of air where I didn't feel this constant overload of information. Like, I felt like I was able to tap back into my creative element. I really enjoyed that. So I started creating, and I started generating these ideas and started filming some content. I feel like I was able to get into a good workspace, workflow. I installed everything again to try, to share it with you guys, because that's basically what, it wasn't my intention to uninstall everything to like get into a creative space, but that was just the consequence of it. When I uninstalled everything, for me, it was more of an experiment. I just wanted to see what was going to happen and how it was going to affect me. And as a result of it, I was able to create, and I was able to get into a more creative flow, and I wanted to share that. And so 2 months passed and I installed everything again, because I had edited, I had produced some stuff, and I was like, okay, cool, let me just put this out. And what better way to put it out than what I know best, which is all these different platforms through social media. And I installed it again, and I was kind of hesitant because for those 2 months I was in a really cool headspace where I didn't feel like I wasn't just reaching for my phone and opening it and seeing like, all right, let me just open up this app, and then like I wasn't doing that anymore. Hold on. Battery's gonna die. Zoom. Installing social media again was necessary because I wanted to share the work that I had created. When I installed it again, I found myself picking up my phone more. My screen time went up, and I found myself doom scrolling more than I had when I was off of social media. I've fully committed to becoming a filmmaker, a YouTuber, make movies, make films, talk about life, talk about film whatever, just all in. Like, that's where I'm at now. Everybody's like, get a regular job, it's not making any money, get a regular job. Like, it makes it very difficult to have faith in the work that I'm doing. More than anything, I think it continues to drive me because this is literally all I know about. Like, just being and speaking with, that to me is what I know and what I understand. That's what I want to continue to do and continue to develop. And so back to the social media thing. I guess this video kind of turned into that, but whatever. So installing again social media, I think it puts me into this headspace where it becomes more difficult for me to create because I'm consuming. And I think about it like planning, bro, like gardening. I got a balcony with like little couple trees, little couple bushes. My fire bush is going through it right now. Let me show y'all this. Hold on. But then let me hold on. I'm gonna show y'all, but I'm gonna forget what I was talking about. So, but it'll serve as an analogy. It rained the last couple days. It's been retaining a lot of moisture, and it's a little sick right now. I gave it too much water, I think. It's going through it. I'm not gonna give it any water for a while, and hopefully it comes back. As an artist, as a filmmaker, as a creator, I create based off of what I see in the world around me, what I'm feeling, what I'm experiencing. Now, social media was like me overwatering that bush. I can't produce any flowers if I have too much information. I'm trying to soak everything up, but then it kind of just makes me sick. Literally makes me sick. I feel like it makes me sick. But I want to be able to do this long term, and so I understand that I'm not going to be perfect, and I'm not going to always be able to achieve that level of perfection that I guess we all aspire to. It's one that I aspire to. But to put myself in a position where it's rotting me, where it's robbing me of my ability to create or my ability to generate or process new ideas and things like that, it wasn't doing that for me. And now I'm kind of at this point where I want to uninstall it again, go back into a place where I can kind of free myself of the mental fog, is what I call it, and just kind of go back into a space where I can create. And then finding the balance between like, hey, I've created something, let me share it with you guys, and then try and be active. Is it weird that I'm like an introvert on social media? I got other peers who are extroverted social media people. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely on the introverted side, which I guess really is a reflection of, I tend to be pretty introverted at times. Social media has been a challenge for me to navigate, and I understand the value of it and the tremendous value that it has for being able to reach you guys and being able to potentially reach more people. It does have a flip side, and for me it has been a challenge to be able to navigate that. So I'm trying to figure out how to work it, because if you're just on social media, I think it is important to kind of take a breather and to experience what it's like when you're not active and when you're not, strolling. Is that the word? Strolling. Yeah, strolling through your feed.
What I meant to say was scrolling.
So it was definitely a switch in perspective for me, being away from it. I didn't necessarily feel like I was missing out on anything. I think it was just more difficult for me to share what I wanted to share. Like, that's, for me, social media, that's always been, I think, what I wanted to use it for. I think I would just get into this loop of consuming as opposed to creating. Maybe I need to consume to create. Maybe I don't. Maybe I can just look at my environment, look at the world around me, and build off of the ideas that come to my mind. So that's really where I kind of wanted to go with that. I know it's kind of long-winded. I just wanted to kind of give y'all some perspective on what social media can be and how it can affect you. I think if you're not using it as a tool, then it can be pretty unhealthy. It's definitely a good way to be connected with everybody. I think it is important to navigate through ebbs and flows of what it means to be connected, because for as long as forever, our network was literally comprised of the people immediately closest to us, and now we are literally connected globally. And for me, as someone who is an advocate for social media, I think I'm also an advocate for stepping away from it. It's a way to connect with y'all, but for me, it has affected me to the point where it makes me feel like I'm not in service to myself. I'm not in service to my community. So I want to step away from that, and I want to find that balance to be able to create and be present with the people that I care about and share with y'all. Just had a moment of deja vu. I think I made a video when I don't even know, bro, but thank you guys for tuning into this video. I hope y'all were able to take something away from this and found some sort of inspiration, found some sort of information that you could take with you and build off of and grow, because ultimately that is all I want. I want to be able to continue to inspire people and just kind of share my story, and hopefully that brings a certain set of tools or information that you can continue to grow with. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'm gonna definitely catch y'all on the next one. I got a couple more street photography videos coming up, other photography basics, photography fundamentals, filmmaking fundamentals, a couple of documentaries that I've been working on. So we got a couple different projects that we're tapping into, and I am excited to share that with y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'll catch y'all on the next one.